Hey, it's Andrew Downs. I'm proud to support Three Beards Media, and I would love to work with you. If you need merchandise for your company, organization, band, softball team, whatever, I can help. From name brand apparel to promotional items, large orders or small, online stores, and more, I can help your brand stand out. AKC Marketing is local, based in Johnston, and we are an employee-owned business, so our costs are low and our turnaround times are fast. But most importantly, we give you personal service to make sure you get exactly what you're looking for. Email me at andrew@akcmarketing.com or find me on social media and let's make some cool stuff together. Now sit back and enjoy this Three Beards Media podcast.
All right, welcome back to In the Side of the Storm, where we talk all things Cyclones. We are live from the AKC Marketing Studio with Andrew Downs and sponsored by Rebelton Distilling out of Osceola, Iowa, and Dan Douglas with Green Beret Realty. I'm Dave Larson here with my Storm Team partners and Cyclone greats, Mr. Vintage Brent Curvey and the legend himself, Marcus Pfizer. Gentlemen, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year. How are we doing tonight?
Man, doing good, man. We upright and vertical. That's something to be thankful for sure.
I think
definitely blessed to see a new year.
Friday night episode, and we're all in the same time zone for the first time ever.
Oh yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that.
That is true. That is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot has happened since we last potted. Is that a word? Potted? Pod? That's with the P. That was the P.
I thought you said ponder.
We'll put it in the dictionary in the David HR Runner Guys dictionary. It sounds good.
So a lot has happened since we last potted. Football team went down to Orlando, won the Pop-Tart Bowl, beating the University of Miami Hurricanes in the Weather Bowl. Cyclones over the Hurricane 42-41. The women basketball team had its first conference games, losing their first game at Oklahoma State 81-75, but then came back and beat Kansas at home on New Year's Day by 14. And then the men had their first conference game at Colorado, a team we had beaten in Maui. This game was a lot tighter than it was in Hawaii. Cyclones coming out on top by 10. Where do we want to get started tonight?
Football it
is. So football team, as I said, went down to Orlando, won that Pop-Tart Bowl. Interestingly enough, I don't know if you guys have been following any of the media stuff, but it was one of the higher rated non-CFP bowl games, peaking out at 8.7 million viewers. It's actually the highest for that particular bowl game since 2008. And we competed against Monday Night Football with the Bengals against the Broncos. The Alamo Bowl peaked at, I think they had 8 million. So I would expect them to have quite a few with Travis Hunter and the Heisman Trophy winner going out and playing in that game. So first 11-win season. Any takeaways that you guys saw from that game? I've got a lot of notes here on this particular game, but wanted to get you guys' thoughts too.
I mean, I was I felt like the matchup was great between them. Cam Ward was already looking forward to throw the ball around, so thought that kind of worked well for us. Because our run stopping defense was always the biggest fear. So, it was one of those back and forth games. It was so crazy to see like every possession was a touchdown for like 6 straight possessions of scores or something. Like it was wild, but it was good to see the offense was going crazy, and I'm glad it kind of slowed down the second half enough so we can get the dub. But looked good, man. Great on 11 win season this year. That's phenomenal. That's a far cry from where we've ever been, man. And it's a great time to be a Cyclone, and I really look forward to what kind of happens this offseason. Looks like we've added a lot of good little pieces too, to pick up some of the roles that some of the guys are leaving behind. But yeah, future is super, super, super bright out there, man.
Yeah, it's definitely a competitive game. I love games like that. As long as at the end of the game we're up by half a point or a point.
That's it.
So that's great for me. But it was very exciting. I really didn't understand the whole thing with Cam Ward in the second half. I don't think I really still got an idea of what really happened. But it was neither here nor there. We got the victory. It's always good to be able to play against universities like that to really show how far we've come as a program, and we definitely can compete with the higher level schools. Quote unquote. You see it happening. You saw, even though Notre Dame is a powerhouse and has always been, no one has really given them the chance that they gave them the other day, and it was pretty much a cakewalk. It looked like they controlled the whole game. So to be spoken in those types of breaths, if we, would have played better in the Big 12 championship game, then, we would have been in the college, playoffs. But, we're happy with the bowl win. Kind of jealous you and Chris got to put the Pop-Tarts in the trophy, so up for you guys there. Did you guys eat it, though?
So I'm going to show that. Yeah, there's the picture that you're talking about there, Marcus. So producer Chris Shipley and I went up to the women's game on New Year's Day, and believe it or not, we had to bring in our own Pop-Tarts. It was not, in all truth, it was not plugged in, so we couldn't toast it, but we sure gave the appearance that we did toast it, and yes, we ate the Pop-Tarts.
There you go.
Why didn't they put it in front of the plug?
I don't know. There was Chris had gotten there like 45 minutes before I did, stood in this massive line and said, never mind, and went and sat down. And so we stuck out middle, I think, late in the first quarter of the game, and the line was much shorter. I don't know. It would have been really fun. I suppose it would have taken a lot more time if everyone were heating up the Pop-Tarts.
That whole trophy might have turned red.
Well, maybe when the line was long.
So, and Brent, I think you missed this, but did you hear that Marcus doesn't eat Pop-Tarts?
Yeah. I saw in the chat you were like, you're trying to make him eat one and give him one of these. Like, nah, hold up, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. They're just a little too sweet. They're just too sweet for me. I don't like overly sweet, like, pastries and things like that.
Man.
Brent, what's your go-to Pop-Tart?
When I did eat them, it was a s'mores, and I think my original was the strawberry.
Well, when you did eat them, you're a man now. You're 40.
Yeah, I don't eat them now, man. And my kids, I would eat them if they were here with the kids or something, but I don't even think my kids eat them for real anymore. I mean, I've eaten them, but I just don't, not like, let me get some Pop-Tarts because we're out this week. Like, let me help you.
So on the drive over from Dallas, I stopped at the gas station, gas up, whatever, bathroom break, and I had gotten some water, and I was just walking around, and I was thinking to myself, man, I don't eat none of this shit in here. Just like, you just get to a point in your life to where, like, the Oreos are not appealing, like none of that. Yeah. And I think I ended up getting some of those like those rye chips. Those, I forget the name of. My wife hates them too.
Oh, the Gardettos. The Gardettos.
So they come in a regular bag with other ones.
Yeah,
I don't like the other ones. I just the rye chips, and
that's the one.
She had the same look on her face, but that's the only thing in the store that I thought to myself, because I don't want no Doritos. Like, it's just. So I mean, I'm the same way. Like, I will probably say the last Pop-Tart I ever had probably was a s'more. Long time ago, but you'd be hard pressed to get me to recall when that was.
Yeah.
Well, I love Pop-Tarts. I probably have 2 boxes upstairs that are not eaten. They're always on reserve, and I have some in my office door. So you're right, Brent. First 11-win season. I was sitting there thinking about it during the game, or maybe it was after the game. I think when I was a college student, now granted, I had one of those seasons when I was in college, we didn't win a single game. So I was there for 5. So I graduated 4.5 years. And so I sat through 5 seasons of football. I think we won a total of 14 games. So I think it's pretty remarkable to see this team win 11 games in the entire season, where over 5 years we won 14. This is Matt Campbell again has done something that no other coach has done, taken the program to new levels. Being an alum and a former football player, what does this team mean for you and some of the teams that you played on?
I mean, we just kind of knowing what our role was, right? We were kind of foundational pieces in this structure that that Matt Campbell has taken to brand new heights, man. So it's always cool. You can always wear your gear around now with a whole lot more pride than before. Just one of those things, like, a few years back, I might have kept a jacket on or something to cover up my logo, but I still have it on type of deal. But now it's like, I mean, people respect us. So many more people know us now. Being in the Big 12, it was always like they're kind of middle of the pack. They're okay. Get 6 wins, we'll get a cheesy bowl or something. But now it's like these dudes get 9, 10 wins, and we putting guys in the league. Things get to changing a little bit. So it's super dope to see, man. Great to be a part of, and just makes you a proud alum. With all the success that's come with
it. I do want to talk a little with Cam Ward in this opt-out situation. So he comes in, he throws 3 touchdowns in the first half, and really that first half, it was up and down the field the entire time. I went over to Chris Shipley's house and I looked at him. I said, Chris, the question really is what defense is going to hold, because the defense that holds the team from scoring that first time is probably the game that the team that's going to win, which didn't ultimately happen quite that way. But Cam Ward looked awesome. I mean, 3 touchdowns, 190 yards in the first half. They had some throws that he was flat-footed, like you're farting around in the driveway with your kid who's 2 years old, and you're just trying to toss the ball. No athleticism was being shown in some of those, but now he showed a lot of athleticism later on. But it was just an impressive first half. They go in up 31-28 at the end, and come to find out, he takes himself out at halftime. What were you guys thinking from when you were watching that play out?
I actually thought he was hurt. So I thought he was hurt. So I was hoping he hadn't injured himself or anything like that. But he seemed too calm. He seemed like he was, we got this, chilling. I said, okay, so maybe. Then you start hearing the reports or whatever. Okay, well, fine. Maybe that's going to hurt your team at the end of the game, and it did. So, I mean, I don't knock him for it or whatever. I mean, the future is what the future is for him. If it was playoff game, he probably wouldn't have sat out. So, take the L, and we see you on Sundays, I guess.
That's it. I mean, man, it's a lot of these kids are moving different when it comes to business, and you know how nasty a sport football is. So it don't take much for your stock from sugar to shit real quick. So, for him to stand up and, I mean, like you said, flat foot, like watching him sit there, he's like, oh yeah, he's open. It just, like, some of the throws he was making, I was like, damn, I don't know if I want a full game with this dude. But he's making business decisions, man. And for him being a Heisman finalist and all of that good stuff, for him, his draft stock's high. He's just like, man, he put his team in position to win. It's not like he, didn't at all. There's so many guys that just opted out. And I know he's getting kind of the shit end of the stick, but in my opinion, it's business, right? So for him, he sees more value. Like, he's there with his guys. He was supporting, played, got out of there. I mean, it's time now to prepare for what's next. So, I mean, it is what it is. It worked out great for us. We were able to slow down that passing attack, right, and get back in the ball game. But, it's business is business, man.
Well, now in fairness, I think Coach Heacock makes a lot of adjustments at halftime, and we seem to be a better, at least on the defensive side, a better team in that second half. And even with Cam Ward in that game, they were only up by 3 at halftime, and it was late in the second quarter. I think 30 seconds maybe left in the half when they kicked that field goal to go up. So it's not like they were kicking our butts across the
for sure
game. So and even then we had a couple guys. Jaden Higgins came out, warmed up with the team. He did not play, and there were times I looked over and I thought, boy, Rocco Beck was making a couple throws towards the end zone. I thought Higgins would have caught that one, or Higgins would have been the primary receiver on that. And then on the defensive side, Darian Porter, he did not play again, came out during warmups, but ultimately didn't play. From your perspective, which is better, to do like what Cam Ward did and play a half and then pull out, or to not play at all?
I don't want to warm up and not play. That's my thought. So if I'm a warm up, I might as well play. I mean, I'm sure for him, he probably had that predestined. He was just going to play the first half, and that was it. So if it's a bowl game, it's my last one, I'd probably want to go out that way. But I mean, knowing the type of player I was, I'd probably just rather play the whole game just to see, you know what I mean? But, I didn't have that type of draft grade, you know what I'm saying, that kid had. So I don't know. But, yeah, I might have just played the whole game, man, just to, get one last hoorah under my belt. Because, I mean, there's so many times you sit down, once it's all done, like, damn, it's like it's really over. That college was a hell of a run, but everybody's different.
Well, for basketball, it's totally different. I mean, you play multiple games, things like that, to advance on. So, I don't know when my draft grade was, but if we would have played Central Connecticut that first round, I told you, Stacey, that I'm done at halftime, you probably threw a chair at me. So it's a little bit different. You play your way through, and like Brent said, I mean, if you're warming up, then you might as well go through with it. For me, fate is what fate is, and I don't think, barring a kid like him and his talent, barring death or something like that, is the only thing that probably would have changed his draft grade. I mean, God forbid he had a busted knee or something like that. Wherever he gets drafted, he probably is not going to start anyway. So, you'll be able to rehab that. So, to me, it kind of felt like, putting on a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna play a little bit. I don't need to, because like I said, if he was in the playoffs, he definitely would have been playing the whole game.
Well, you could see the talent. I mean, boy, I got to think he was the best quarterback we've faced in a couple of years. I mean, a lot of talent and a lot of athleticism. It was impressive to see, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
So both offenses really slowed down. I think both teams made some adjustments. Miami quarterback that came in afterward clearly was not at the same level. Miami did go up by 10. Had me a little bit worried, but then Noel had that touchdown pass or touchdown catch, excuse me, getting us to within 3 again, 38-35. Miami kicks a field goal with 9 minutes left in the game. Interestingly enough, up by 6, and I thought to myself, they left that window open, at that time, and that what a dramatic way to finish that game. So here's Chris and I sitting there,
stressed out.
Chris is wearing his white jersey. He's ready to go. And I couldn't breathe. I couldn't talk. I was just transfixed on that television screen. And then, here we are. And Chris is like, you got to score. You got to score. I'm like, well, you got to score. But yet, we really have to. At that time, I thought we really got to make sure that we don't leave Ward or a chance to come back in the game. And so Rocco, of course, scores with 56 seconds left in the game, and felt pretty good about that, but still kind of nervous because where Iowa State, shit happens, and but it wasn't meant to be, and we ended up pulling out the win and destroying a Pop-Tart in the process. Did you guys see the end of that game? What happened there with that Pop-Tart?
Yeah,
we're inside.
That's the end result of it. Nothing left. Absolutely nothing.
That's crazy and also disgusting. Not gonna lie to you. The amount of hands that went on that to eat that thing, that's disgusting. Not gonna lie. Look at that. That's what I'm saying. Everybody after a game, yeah, bro, I'm cool.
They're just, look at these guys. They're just digging in.
See, all I think about is how sweet that icing is.
Yeah. Thinking, glad that he's not the one that got toasted.
Oh, that's the wild berry one, right? The dreams really do come true.
Where is this eye?
Yeah, he only got.
Or is that the one that got toasted? No? Oh, no, okay.
That's crazy.
Oh, he's supposed to be winking.
Yeah. Winking at you.
Nah, that's just.
That was straight.
That's a little too
Brett,
sweet for me.
Brett, you're not digging in on a Pop-Tart like that with everybody's hands, is what you're saying?
I would have dug in and threw it like they were doing. I sure would have dug in and ate it though. So, I would not have got a piece of that after playing a game. Got them same sweaty gloves on from 3 weeks ago, and everybody digging their fingers in there. Nah, man, I'm cool. I'm good.
Hard pass, huh?
That's it.
So what? Obviously, Rocco picked the cinnamon roll. What would you have picked, Brent?
I probably would have. I might have did a wild berry one, just cause a little different. You know what I mean?
But you wouldn't have eaten it, so why?
That's what I'm saying.
Why pick on wild berry?
Just cause. I mean, something different, man. I feel like cinnamon roll would have been a popular one, so get the wild berry and let that stain some people's clothes while we out there.
So it was a wild Saturday. I can't believe it's already been a week. I've been out to Shields probably 3 times looking for my championship hat, and it has not arrived yet. So I'm going to try to hit up. I'm going up to the men's game tomorrow, so I'm going to try to hit up either the bookstore or the size locker room and try to see if they've got anything. So after the game, then we were able to be entertained with the college football playoff. Have you guys been following or watching any of these games?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So things led off New Year's Eve with the Fiesta Bowl and Penn State beating Boise State, in which big deficit there, 41-14. Peach Bowl the next day. Texas, and this is one of it has been by far the closest game, double overtime. Arizona State actually came back after being down and boy, you look at Twitter and everybody's just, Arizona Big 12 this and SEC that. Well, Arizona State made it a game, and it was the closest of the football playoff games to date. Boy, that was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, that was fun. Probably the most exciting one. I mean, that kid Scatterable, he's just one. He's one of those players that doesn't do anything spectacular, but what he does, you can't stop him. And it's just, hey, it's here. I remember, when Brandon and I were on the same McDonald All-American team out of high school. Of course, we were kids then. Played, a couple years in college or whatever. But he went to the pros a year before me. And, he learned a lot more. And, man, he would turn left shoulder, right jump hook, and you couldn't stop it for shit. He just every single time. And it wasn't nothing flamboyant, anything like that. It was just left shoulder, jump hook. And that's the quarterback just toss it back there. Got to be just let them like bowling pins just run everybody over. And then that trick play that they had, whatever it was, where everybody's gearing up and he throws the ball 42 yards and it's like, oh yeah, this is about to be a game. So that was the most exciting one to me.
Yeah, I agree, man. Honestly, they were a targeting call away from winning that thing. If you ask me, I think if they get that targeting call, things change pretty drastically. And it's like, how was that not targeting? Because that was. But whatever, we don't make the rules. But I think that's still one of those things where the conference gets slighted too, right? I think a lot of people still don't want to see a Big 12 team like really be there. You know what I mean? Go on the bigger stage and handle some of those teams like that. I think there's always some underworkings, underhand. Here, hey man, here's this. Make sure this call goes our way, type of thing. But just you always wish for a fair game, man. If nothing else, you know what I'm saying? So.
Well, I think BYU played really well too. They laid the smackdown on Colorado in the Alamo Bowl. They look really good. So you're right. I think the Big 12 has shown itself very well between Arizona State and BYU, and really Iowa State against Miami. That I think we've shown that we can compete at that level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, programs that was picked to be at the bottom of the league.
Right.
Yeah. Moving on to the other CFP scores, Rose Bowl, Ohio State, just beat up on Oregon. That game was ugly quick.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then the Sugar Bowl, which, it probably goes – we probably should make a reference. And, Marcus, I think some of this kind of hit close to you. But the Sugar Bowl had the issue in New Orleans the night before, or actually the early morning before, that delayed the Notre Georgia game. Notre Dame ultimately won 23-10, but then it was not very long after that incident hit, then in Las Vegas, that Tesla Cybertruck blew up outside the Trump Hotel. Did that get much play in Las Vegas for you, Marcus? I imagine it went all over the news here, obviously.
Tons. I mean, we could even see the billows of smoke, from where, because it's not that far. It's just a surreal thing to even think about it even happening. Real life, real time. Everyone's watching everything that's going on in New Orleans, and then shortly after that occurred. So, you just got to be vigilant the best that you can. You can't determine what's what, but being from Louisiana. Here I am in Louisiana now dealing with people talking about, what happened down on Bourbon Street, and then my new home in Las Vegas, same type situation that went on that occurred. So it's just crazy to think about, man, the things that people go through, the things that they would do, in the spur of the moment, and the things that they plan. Like I said, you just got to try to be vigilant and hope for the best.
So we're down to the Final Four in football now. Notre Dame, Penn State play a week ago yesterday. They play in the Orange Bowl on Thursday. And then Friday night, Ohio State plays Texas in the Cotton Bowl. national championship game is on Monday, the 20th. Ironically, on Martin Luther King Day, maybe not so ironic. First, we're pretty much guaranteed. Well, we are guaranteed to have the first black head coach to coach in a championship game, either Marcus Freeman or James Franklin with Penn State. I saw that somewhere and I thought, is that for real? That this is the first time that's happened, and I think I think it's really cool that it's happening on all days on Martin Luther King.
Yes, the college landscape is finally changing, right? Because I remember, was it Lovie Smith and Tony Dungy?
First
in the Super Bowl, right? So, things are finally changing, and guys are allowed chances, and it's really good to see. I'm saying, the representation, and these kids know that there's always a life after football, and if they want to impact, young men's lives too, that they can still pursue those dreams of being a head coach. I mean, there's so many football jobs recently that are being taken over by NFL guys, which is super dope to see, man. Mike Vick and I think Deshaun Jackson is in talks with getting a head coaching job too. So it's just super dope to see, them getting welcomed in and, giving themselves a chance to be smart and showcase, the things that they've learned and all of that, and give back to the guys.
Yeah, and me being from this area, Doug Williams went to Grambling State University, and he's first black quarterback, to win the Super Bowl. So that's something that, we took pride in, and knowing, growing up in this area, seeing him around, a lot. He definitely was, our superstar, Terry Bradshaw, a couple miles down the road with Louisiana Tech. Definitely was one of our superstars growing up around this area, and of course Karl Malone as well. So it's always been cool to have those guys. We have the older guys like Willis Reed, that's from Bernice, Louisiana, and Bill Russell is from Monroe. So to have that type of atmosphere, to know, that this area can produce pros and black athletes that can have success, was something that definitely, put a lot of pride into me to go on and make something of myself and try to be a professional.
Well, in watching that Georgia Notre Dame game the other night, I really think Marcus Freeman outcoached Georgia.
Yes.
In Kirby Smart. You saw that one where on that fourth down where he brought out the punt team and then took 11 out, brought 11 in to run the offensive play. And Kirby Smart was like, huh? I thought that was just I loved it. It was such an innovative, great thing to do. I'll be curious to see if the NCAA puts in rules against that. But for the time being, it worked. It really was a smart play.
I mean, he did everything by the book. You have to allow them time to substitute. But the fact that I'm ready, like, we're going to bring the field goal team out right now. Mentally right now, your guard is down because you're like, all right, field goal block, boom. Oh, no. First over back in. Wait, what? So now the D coordinator he goes from in the headset talking to the coach like, well, they completed this to, oh, shit, what's the call? What's the personnel? Because if you don't know personnel, you're shot as a D coordinator. And they ran out there so fast, he was like, wait a minute, what happened? And then you get the guys jump off sides. It's a win-win. Like, that was crazy smart, man. But looking at Marcus Freeman and the way the guys look to him and the way they play for him, you can tell those kids are bought in. You know what I mean? He's one of those, he walks around, he has that, like, I don't care who you are. And you can see the other guys like, shit, we don't care who you are, what school you play for. We coming in to dominate, period. And, love to see guys, follow their coach's kind of mantra in that way and put it out on display. Well,
and Central Iowans, we have the luxury of being able to maybe cheer on Notre Dame because they've got a local kid, tight end Eli Raridan, who went to West Des Moines Valley. So it's fun to see him get some action out on the field. And that was a cool play. Reminded me when I was coaching basketball, I would do this drill where I would just randomly substitute players, and they had to adjust on the fly with whoever the personnel was. I wouldn't tell them where I wanted them to go. I would expect them and teach them in advance, hey, if this personnel's in, here's where I want this player, and they would have to adjust. And we'd flip it from man to zone and the different zone packages and the different man packages. Oh, now we're going to substitute another player and okay, switch back on defense and just get their head on a swivel. So they had to think fast. And that's kind of what that play that Notre Dame did against Georgia really reminded me of. It was fun to watch. I was impressed. So who do you guys got? Who do you guys got between those two games? Texas, let's see, I had it down. Texas, Ohio State, and Notre Dame, Penn State. What's your predictions?
I think it'll be Texas, Notre Dame in the championship game.
I think Notre Dame. I felt Notre Dame and Ohio State. I think Texas has had some tough games. I think they've had some tough games. I think Ohio State lost that game against Michigan, and now they just want to destroy everybody. Yeah. And I think Notre Dame is a sleeper. Like, they're playing so well. I saw people all over social media just, man, Georgia's supposed to be destroying these boys. Like, how are they supposed to just be destroying them? Like, they're not there by accident. So you can see they controlled the game. They won the game, and I think they're definitely the sleeper.
I think it's interesting, too. We've got no conference champions remaining in this remainder of the playoff.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And think about that.
And was Oregon number 1 overall?
Yep.
They play like trash too.
Man, it's hot garbage. But I mean, the key to that is Jeremiah Smith, and that's the only way I'm giving Texas the edge, just because I don't know if he has the same success over the DBs at Texas. They haven't stopped the run, but Texas run game is a little bit more stout. So that's why I'm giving Texas the edge over Ohio State, because, I don't think Oregon had anybody that could hang with Jeremiah, because he could do what he wants. Still can, but I just think Texas, the long range of your corners, I don't know. I'm just hedging my bets. We'll see. And Sarkisian, I hope, after seeing how he got away with one the last game, the targeting call and all of that, I think he's like, all right, now we got to quit bullshitting and start, running away on guys. So we'll see, man. Texas Indy wins.
The Buckeyes seem to be playing on another level. And the Notre Dame, I looked up, and that quarterback only threw for 90 yards against Georgia. And that's, you got to be able to throw the ball when you get this late in the season. I'll be curious to see. I think that'll be a really good matchup, Notre Dame against Penn State.
Defense wins championships, man.
You know what I mean? So
they made him run. What did he run for 80 and threw for 90 or something like that? It was something, both under 100 yards, but it's not a lot of field he covered, but there was a lot of dominance in that game, though, on Notre Dame side of the ball. So.
All right, we're going to take a quick time out here. Hear a word from our sponsors on the other side. Well, let's talk a little bit of basketball. Marcus, this is a big weekend for the men's team. I think you probably want to share a little bit of news update about your status with Ames this weekend, and we'll come back and talk a little bit more about that on the other side, assuming I can click over into our sponsors. So let's hear a word first from Revelton.
Making great tasting bourbon requires the perfect combination of ingredients, conditions, and time. The longer it rests, the better it tastes. Revelton Distillery's new single barrel bourbon is made from 80% corn, sourced 100% from Iowa farmers. And unlike mass-produced bourbons, each barrel of Revelton's single barrel bourbon is unique, proofed on when it tastes best. As they like to say, it'll be ready when it's ready. And to ensure the highest standards of quality and flavor, owners Rob and Christy Taylor oversee the production and bottling. Every single barrel. Iowa-born, Iowa-aged, Iowa-bottled. Try the new single barrel bourbon from Iowa's own Revelton Distillery. ReveltonDistillery.com. When energy meets precision, anything is possible.
I'm Carter Hawley, the Chief Energy Officer of the Iowa State Cyclones. I'm full of energy on and off the court, but nothing gives me more energy than helping families find their dream home. And that's where Green Beret Realty comes in. They're more than just realtors. They're a team dedicated to getting things right for you and your family, just like we get it right on the court. Sometimes it takes a team to get the call right. And when you're buying a home, you want a team that makes all the right calls. That is Green Beret Realty. And here's the best part. When you buy or sell a home through Dan at Green Beret Realty and mention this ad, he'll make a donation to the We Will Collective, helping student athletes like me thrive on and off the court.
Green Beret Realty, because getting the call right means everything.
All right, we're back to In the Side of the Storm. We've got Brent and Marcus here. I am not partaking in dry January. I know that's become a popular thing over the last couple of years, and started this bottle New Year's Eve. It's the vodka. So do you have a chance to get out there? Some of that? I'm not a big vodka person, so I used to work with someone that she was huge into vodka, and I just love vodka, but it's actually not so bad. So this was a request by my now 21-year-old son. So we broke it open, and so far so good.
Well, I'm glad it's not gone. If it was his request on New Year's Day, I'm surprised
it's almost gone.
So, one of the advantages of having a 21-year-old kid too is he bought me booze for Christmas. How I love it. This is awesome being an adult parent.
That is a perk. That is a perk for sure.
All right. Before we start talking about the men's team and women's team, had its again a couple of conference games. Was able to attend the last game on New Year's Day. That was just Wednesday already. I can't believe how time just sneaks by during the holidays. It was really the Audie and Addie show, and Emily Ryan, the big three. Audie with 33 points, 7 rebounds. Addie with a double-double, 10 points, 11 assists. And honest to goodness, Marcus, she makes the double-doubles look so easy now. Just Addie Brown is just one of those special talents. And to combine her with Audie Crooks, and Emily Ryan had 19 points and 6 assists. It was interesting watching the women's team seem to come out and play with some different combinations early on, with Kenzie Hare out for the season. Sydney Harris with the start. Lily, I'm going to mess this up. I can say it when I'm sitting in the game, but Talaleo came off the bench. Usually it's Elisa Williams. And Elisa did play, but Lily came in off the bench right away as the backup to Audie. Isley He also came off the bench this game with Sid Harris with a start. And I actually kind of like that with Eileen's more of a kind of a scorer mentality. Sydney is that sort of tougher player that can do a little bit of everything. But Eileen's that scorer off the bench, a lot like Curtis Jones. So as I think the season progresses with some of these new roles, I'll be curious to see how some of that shakes out. This Sunday, the women come home and play at Hilton. It's a big game, ESPN2 at 5:30 against Houston, who's 11-2 and number 1 in the Big 12 at the moment. They had a big win against the Notre Dame women, who were ranked number 3 in the Cayman Islands tournament. Houston's already beat Arizona and Arizona State women, so really a big game this weekend, I think, for the women. Will you guys have a chance to watch that Sunday night?
I should be able to watch it without a doubt. I mean, I think the games that we had, our women had early on, were some tough games, and I think it's prepared us like we said, we've been trying to figure out different substitutions, rotations, and things like that. Now we're into the Big 12, conference and playing games. In the long run, you just want to figure it out. It doesn't matter if you're, undefeated or only got 2 losses or if you have 5 losses. As long as you can get into conference play well, win ball games, when it counts, that's all that matters.
Yep.
Well, and the women are just, I'll say it again, they're fun to watch. They're good kids. They work hard. The one thing, and Marcus, you kind of brought this up a few times over the summer and here in early fall. I think Coach Fennelly has put a call out for any help on the free throw line. That's one area that we seem to struggle. And Audie, I think, while she had 33, I think she would have had close to 45 if she'd been able to make some free throws. It's a struggle for the entire team at the moment.
She's just got to slow down a little bit. I mean, just, it's never that much of a rush. Sometimes it seems like a rush. In the NBA, they get Giannis up on the free throw line and, the opposing team counts to 10 seconds. Nobody really takes the 10 seconds. He kind of pushed the envelope a little bit on it, and so the NBA had to kind of hurry up, but nobody else takes that long. I mean, get your couple of dribbles in. She have a well enough shot. The talent is there. She just got to slow it down a little bit and, make those, because that's a game changer for sure.
Yeah.
The men, sorry, Marcus. The men are now 3rd in the nation. I think we've been there in the same spot there for 3 or 4 weeks. Not a lot of movement in the top 3. Men also played at Colorado. I know we've talked about this, Marcus, with the elevation and whatnot. We didn't play very well, but yet still came out and won by 10. A lot closer than it was in Maui, that's for sure.
Yeah, and even that win by 10 was, that's one of those. I mean, you could be up 4.6 points, whatever, and a couple of tips, couple of steals, they all make a couple desperation shots, and we score. Then it goes to 10. I'm like, oh, we won by 10. No, it's a lot closer than that. Yeah. So it could be one of those things where the altitude definitely was a difference for the guys. I mean, we're farther into the season now. I haven't faced them before. The game plan is a little bit different than they had before. So it's college basketball. We feel like we have some pros on our team. They got some pros on their team, and pros adjust, even though they're collegiate athletes. So you just got to take that into account of the things that we got to do to eke out a win. Again, I don't care if it's about half point or a point, as long as we have that half point or a point and win the ball game. Get the hell out of there, come back home.
That's it.
Brent, did any of your teams ever play at Colorado?
Yep. Yeah, Mason Crosby was the freaking field goal kicker, and he kicked a 62-yarder on us. So imagine stopping the
I didn't know that.
Line and we punt team, no field goal. We're like, what? It's at the damn 50. There's no way he's kicking it. Yeah, he kicked it and made that son of bitch too.
I had you guys over there looking like, oh, we about to watch this.
Right. Yeah, it's the push. But yeah, it was we played up there, and it was, football's, moving men around already takes a lot out of you. And I'm in the trenches, so there was never a play that I had off. So you're talking about smacking somebody every play and then having to run around, and I was never a fan of the altitude there. I definitely didn't have one.
Was it cold too?
It was cold. Gosh, what year was it?
Yeah, I played inside, so
it was definitely cold. I had sleeves on, I think. Yeah. Ironically, you can't really see it, but this picture right here, that was me as a freshman in.
Oh wow.
I was in Ames, but that's had sleeves on when we played them. But yeah, so it was always cold when we played Colorado. Always cold. Yeah, not a fan.
Well, is that something the coaching staff that they talk with you guys about in advance, or was just sort of one of those things that we're not going to talk about it because we're not going to allow you to be bothered by it?
I mean, Coach Mack, he told us, like, look, it takes so many hours to get acclimated. He got us in there late. I think that was part of it. He was like, gonna get you in late. We got an early game. And, you know, you rest up, kind of get prepared, you go out and play, and then we're right back out type of thing. But, you know, some people's bodies, you know, it hits them a little bit sooner than others, obviously. But just one of those things. It was like, we're not going to let this be a factor and all of that stuff. But I think that might have been 04, and that was our turnaround year. And we were, you know, went from 2-10 before to going to a bowl game in 04. So, you know, just one of those you got to build and, you know, keep chopping the wood.
So that was
and it's not a mind over matter. It's not a mind over matter type thing. Like, it's a real thing. Like, what goes in and out of your lungs is air.
Yeah,
and it affects the way it goes in and out of your lungs. So, you know, it's a different type of beast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was in Denver for a work event, and it's probably been 10 years, 12 years or so ago. And I remember, and I usually try to take the stairs, and it's one of those where you're in the main level, then you walk up to a second level, and there's conference rooms. So I would always take the stairs, and I didn't think about the elevation until that first flight. I thought, what is wrong with me? And then it kind of dawned on me. You're right. It's a real thing, though.
Yeah. Shit, yeah, it is.
I wasn't taking stairs, though.
Well,
I mean, I wear size 18 shoe. So, I mean, you know, it's a whole lot.
You got to go up sideways anyway.
I mean, coming down the stairs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Man, it's a lot of things my mind go through, especially now. Ankles and knees. Nah, I'm gonna stay right here and push this button.
wait my turn. I don't care if it is full. We're gonna wait till this thing get not full. We're gonna go on it.
I'm gonna watch you going upstairs the next time I see you. I want to see this. It was
upstairs is not that bad. Down the stairs.
I'll remember that trip because it was the same hotel that the Miami Heat were staying in, and Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh jumped into a elevator as I was going up. I thought, oh wow, this is really cool. And that night later in the bar, I met Chris Sims, Jim Nance was calling the game along with Phil Sims. So I got my picture taken with Phil Sims. That was kind of cool. So we're coming up on the meaty part of the schedule, Saturday. And I want to talk a little bit about Saturday, of course, tomorrow. Playing Baylor at 1 o'clock on CBS, which for those of us that watched the Kansas-Iowa State game last year on CBS, it looked phenomenal on TV. So I'm really expecting that to play out. 1 o'clock tip. And then Tuesday is a game against Houston at 7 o'clock, also at Hilton. But this weekend is really a big day for a lot of us as fans that has watched the men's team for a period of time, and it's it's a game that there's going to be a celebration of that 99-2000 team that Marcus, you're ever so familiar with. Went 32-5 in the regular season. Of course, won the conference tournament, and then played made it all the way to the Elite Eight against Michigan State. And we won't go into a lot of the details on that, but for all practical purposes, that one game was probably the championship game for the entire tournament in that Elite Eight game. Many players are returning. Coach Eustace, I've seen, is returning. Marcus, where will you be tomorrow?
Well, unfortunately, I will not be there. Same time, 1 p.m., I will be attending a funeral back here in my hometown, Louisiana. You know, one of the city's patriarchs, family patriarch, real close guy. One of the older reverends passed away. And unfortunately, you know, it was a situation where I had to, you know, either follow my heart or, you know, celebrate a life that was dear to me since, second and third grade on throughout, grade school, middle school, and high school. Following my career was pivotal to me becoming the man that I ultimately became. And so unfortunately I won't be there. Definitely would have loved to have been there to celebrate with my teammates, Coach Larry Eustace and whoever else is going to be there. I think Coach Trey Chapman and some more people that I saw that's going to be there. Just want to, congratulate everyone that was on that team. One of my best friends still today, Thomas Watkins, is going to be there. My roommate that, on the road and everything during that season. And we're still close friends now. Him and his family, wife and kids live down in Phoenix. So, like I said, it's something I definitely wish I was able to attend. With a heavy heart, I'm not going to have the opportunity to be there, but I'm going to record the game. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to watch the game live because, the time of the homegoing services is at the same time as tip-off. So definitely rooting for the guys. Want everyone to enjoy themselves, have a good time there, and definitely looking for the Cyclones to win that game.
So, Marcus, we're obviously sorry for your loss and sorry you're not able to attend. Obviously, family is important to you. It's something you expressed multiple times on the podcast. And so really sorry for your loss and wishing you and your family the best for tomorrow. And, it's going to be a difficult day. Do you have any idea from a scheduling perspective, who's attending and maybe what the schedule was shaping up to look like for even tonight and tomorrow?
I've gotten lists of a few guys that were, thinking about attending. Like I said, my good friend Thomas is going to be there. And also my host family that I have there from Storrs City, Iowa, their family, Kurt and Sandy Bauer, they're going to be attending, not necessarily in my place, but, if I was there, me and my wife and kids, they were going to be there with us as well.
But when they announced Marcus Fizer, are they going to walk out on your behalf wearing your jersey?
We hadn't spoken about that. I didn't know anything like that was even going on. But I wouldn't be opposed to it. They've been family since my sophomore year at Iowa State. So they've pretty much raised me. Our kids have have grown up together from my oldest son is 26 now. He was 1 and 2 years old when we first met them. So it's all a family occasion and everything like that. Like I said, definitely wish I was able to be there, but unfortunately I'm not. But looking forward to see how things turn out.
Brent, what are you doing tomorrow? Maybe we just send you out there and say Marcus has shrunk a little.
Yeah. He's gonna say he shrunk a lot. And
take one of the numbers off.
Right. And that's it. That's it. Nah, I got I'm slanging kolaches, baby. It's Saturday, man.
Busy day.
Changed for me, kolaches and TV. So I had a game on and all the good stuff, man.
So is there a schedule then of events, or is it something where fans just show up to the game that you're aware of, Marcus? I think I've seen there's going to be some sort of activity at halftime. I wasn't sure if there's a pregame or a postgame event that fans can maybe hook up with players. To be honest, I've not done a lot with social media in the last couple of days, just getting back into the rut of work. And I don't know.
1 second. Let me see.
Poster, maybe, who knows? Maybe it'll be posted tomorrow.
Mike Green has sent me. Let me see. Okay, here it is. Oh, wow. That's an elaborate schedule. Oh, wow. Oh, it says Friday. Well, that's today, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Associate event that went on from 6 to 9. So I guess it's just not closing up. Tomorrow, brunch at the Stark Performance Center at 10:30. Then, the game is at 1 o'clock. The brunch is on the 4th floor. The game at 1 o'clock. Johnny's Access. I guess that's something that, that opens at 11:30. It's a pretty elaborate thing. But I guess, some things you go to, some things you don't. Post games is going to be at Wallabies from 7 to 10. So I guess, everyone get together there. That would have been, really cool to be able to do as well.
Yeah.
So we reach out to Mike Green if you guys want more information. His number is 515-294-2239.
I'm sure he really appreciates that, Marcus. So, and Brent, if you get done a little early, let's throw you in a number 5 jersey and haul you up there and say, "Hey, we brought Marcus with us."
That's it, man.
Put on number 5 jersey. Walk Chris Mim out there. Left wing.
We'll put me.
All up to you.
We'll put me in a wheelchair. And I'll say, "I'm Chris Mim. This is what happens when you mess with Marcus Fizer."
That's it,
man. Brent's gonna need that wheelchair after it's all over with.
Right.
All right. Well, we've done it. Our first Friday pod ever. Our first time that we've all been in the same time zone ever. So we're eventually. I hope that we'll all be in the same room together at some point.
You're gonna make it happen.
Yeah, that would have been if I made the trip. That would have been exciting to have. We probably would have invited Chris Shipley along. Maybe not. We'll see next time.
Well, and you know what Chris is doing here? So he sent me a text early in the show because I was, I'm not a technology guy, and so here's Chris. He's working hard at his chair. For those of you who can't see.
That's a nice chair.
Yeah, he's doing nothing.
That's a real nice chair.
He's on vacation. Yeah, and I actually got to see his podcast studio when I was at his house and saw the infamous shower curtain. So, all right, guys, it has been fun. Again, glad everyone had a good holiday. Looking forward to getting back into a regular schedule with the podcast now that the holidays are over. And it's been fun watching the football team and the successes. Our first 11-win season. Been fun to be a part of that ride. Marcus, good luck tomorrow. Brent, I may actually try to stop up if I can get my daughter to. She's got things going on, so we're trying to coordinate between that and getting up to the game in time for the game. So
you gotta have those kolaches, baby.
That's right. And if you haven't stopped by, if we could put in a plug, stop in. And Brent, your kolaches are good, yes. And you've got the special one with kind of everything in there. But I think your cinnamon rolls are really good too.
I was going to ask you how that went for you. They went pretty good.
They were fantastic.
Oh, good.
And I've been trying to get up there to get it. And I can't just buy one. It's one of those where I've got to buy multiples. They're fantastic, really good.
Appreciate that. Appreciate it. We're doing something right.
All right. All right. That's it, everyone. We'll talk to you next time. Go Cyclones.
Go Cyclones.